Hey, Cookies here. Let's talk about medium clues. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the requirements and recommendations. For requirements, 45 magic, 50 hunter, runes to cast the standard teleport spells very often, and access to fairy rings. For recommendations, I would say runes to cast snare or entangle, and this kind of also goes with a rune pouch if you have access to that, just so that your whole inventory isn't taken up by runes. A mounted glory in your player-owned house, or your POH. The Ardone Cloak 1, which is acquired by doing the Easy Ardone Diary, and Teleport Jewelry. This would include Dig Site Pendant, Games Necklace, Ring of Dueling. If you don't have all three of them, that's fine. The more you have, the better. It just basically makes getting around easier. So now I'll show you guys how to get the Magic Butterfly Net and some Impling jars to get started. I have Impling jars in my inventory already. You can ignore these. All you need is coins to start out. You're going to get 7 free Impling jars when we get there, but since I've already claimed mine, I'm just bringing them along with me to show as an example. So the first thing we're going to want to do is get a butterfly net. The way you do this is just go down to the minigame teleports. It's going to be here in the clan section. It should normally look like this, 2 yellow smiley faces. Go to the red one, find an activity, and you're going to look for Nightmare Zone. Teleport to that. If you can't teleport to Nightmare Zone, I don't remember if there's a requirement on it or not. You can instead just go to Castle Wars right here and then just run straight east over to Yano. I'll show it on the map as we're teleporting over. So this right here is where we're looking to go, and this is the Castle Wars teleport. So you just run east. There's some ogres on the way, just be careful of those, but other than that, we're just heading to Yano. I'm gonna go ahead and trade Alec. And we are going to buy a butterfly net right here. That's all we need. We don't need anything else from here. You can equip the butterfly net, and then we are going to go to a fairy ring. So you can use your Ardone cloak or whatever other methods you have of getting to a fairy ring here. I'm gonna head over to the fairy ring, and we're just going to Zenaris. Once we get to Zenaris, we're going to head over to this crop circle right here. And there should be somewhere inside the wheat, there's like this spinning kind of animation you can see. When you kind of right click near it or click on it, you can see that my click option changes to center of crop circle. We want to enter that. Now when we get here, you can talk to Elnock, and he will give you, you can ask him for like a starter kit, and he will give you 7 free Impling jars. So now we have our 7 free Impling jars and our butterfly net. Again, we can equip the butterfly net now, and we're just going to go ahead and walk through here. And what we're going to do at first is we're just going to collect any Implings that we can. So any Implings that we have the hunter level for, we're going to just grab them. Once we have our 7 Implings caught, again, they can be all random. It doesn't matter what Implings they are. And then we can head back over to Elnock. We're going to hit exchange. Actually, my bad. We're going to hit trade. And then we can select this one down here at the bottom, the Impling jar 3. And we're just exchanging 1 Impling for 3 jars. So we just click on that. It'll fill up our inventory mostly with jars. And now what we're going to do is we need to catch 3 gourmet Implings, 2 earth, and 1 essence. So we need... And then we can have the rest of the jars be anything. So as long as we can still catch random things as we're standing here, but like there's my earth impling that I want, so now I have 1 earth impling. I'll just track it down there by doing that. But again, we can still catch random ones. It's just the few that we need to grab. 6 total. So that's our 1 essence. Gonna catch some more random ones as we're running around. And to make it easier, you can tag specific Implings. There is a RuneLite plugin called the Implings plugin, and when you have it enabled, you can have the game highlight specific Implings. There's another gourmet, so we'll put that here. We have another gourmet right here, so we need one more earth impling, and actually we have 2 earth implings, so we just need 1 gourmet impling, and there he is. Okay, and there those all are, and now for the rest of our jars we can just catch random implings, and it doesn't matter which ones. Okay, and once we have all our implings, we can go ahead and teleport to a bank or just walk back out through the exit. So I'm just going to use Barbarian Outpost for my bank. And then what we're going to do is just create a tab, essentially, for all these, and we are just going to bank all of these implings for right now. And I did forget to grab the magic butterfly net, but we can get that on the way over there. So I'm just going to create a new tab with these, just to keep them a little bit organized, even though we are going to just get rid of them here in a minute. And then, again, we need to make sure we withdraw, let's see, we need 3 gourmet, so there's our 3 gourmet. And then we have 2 earth and 1 essence. So there's our implings for our butterfly net. And at this point, I do believe we can get rid of our coins just to make our trips a little bit more efficient. And then we can get rid of our butterfly net because we are going to get a new one. And then what we're going to do is grab 9 implings of any kind. So we just want 9 implings. So we have these ones here. These do not count towards our 9. So we'll grab 5, 7, 8, 9. So there's our 9 on top of the ones that we need to bring. We're going to go back to Zenaris through the fairy ring. We're going to trade, and we're going to buy a magic butterfly net right here. And then with the rest of our implings in our inventory, we are going to just spam buy the 3 impling jars. So there's a full inventory of impling jars and our magic butterfly net. And now we will go back to the bank yet again. And I guess technically what you could do to make this more efficient, if you want to, again, like if you want to stack up on impling jars early, you can fill all of these up with random implings again, and then put them in your bank. And then just you're basically going to do trips of 9 implings, or as many as you can. Like here we have, some left. So now we would run these again to the same spot. You get the point. We get more impling jars, and you basically do that to accumulate impling jars in your bank very quickly. And then when you go buy more impling jars, you just fill them up with random imps until you're satisfied with how many jars you have, and then you don't have to fill them up anymore. And then what you should end up with is... Actually, don't remember where I have these in my bank. Tab 3. Okay. Yeah, so they're down here. So I have these impling jars here. I have my magic butterfly net, and I'm ready to go. I would definitely recommend, if you're going, basically for the longer you want to go with clues, the more impling jars you should have just stacked up in your bank, because that's going to make it easier in the long run. Okay, so following the requirements and recommendations, we have our inventory set up and ready to go. And this is what an ideal inventory setup is going to look like. I'll post something on the screen that has a screenshot of both my equipment and my inventory at the same time. But essentially what you're going to want is some coins just to get around, because there's going to be, we're going to have to take like charter ships and stuff during the clues, because the intention of this whole inventory setup and the way that I have this structured is so that you can get clue scrolls, do them, and then go immediately back to farming and impling until you get another clue scroll. So you don't have to like interrupt yourself and bank or do other things in between clues or farming implings. It's not 2 separate processes. You're doing both at the same time, and it makes things so much easier. We have a rune pouch. This obviously can be just substituted with just putting runes in your inventory. The main thing is just make sure you at least have 3 rows of jars at the minimum, and you cannot use this last row for anything. This last row needs to be left empty, and that's because there's 3, for Ironman especially, there's 3 really valuable noted drops that the medium implings, or the eclectic implings give. So we want to leave those spots open, and then we need an additional slot in order to actually open the jars in the first place. So now we'll go ahead and head back over to Zenaris and the Puro. And again, a lot of this stuff in my inventory can be substituted. Like instead of wearing the quest cape, because that's how I get to fairy rings, you could wear the Ardougne cloak. You don't need to have the Master Scroll book, but it's just, again, a nice way to get around. The more ways you have to get around, the better. Instead of having like a dust battle staff, I used to use like a fire staff in my inventory, and then I had different runes in my bag, stuff like that. So just mix it up. The whole point is just be able to teleport to the major cities in the game with runes, and then have your jewelry either equipped or in your bag, and then have fairy ring access. That's really it. The other stuff, like the Royal Seed Pod and the Master Scroll book, is just for a little bit of extra benefit to helping me get around a little bit more, because I noticed that these are quite useful having. But you don't want to have just tons of teleports to where your inventory is completely full. So I would say like where my inventory is right now, like 3 rows of utility stuff, that's about all you want to max out on. You don't want any more than that. So limit yourself to that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is find an eclectic Impling spawn. What I do is when I enter, this is the compass looking straight, I just head west, which is right here where we are now. We're going to go to the second to last row, and we're going to go ahead and look for the eclectic Impling. We'll go ahead and enable the... I'm going to look for the guy, hold on. I will enable my Impling tracker here, so there's an eclectic. I'm going to hit tag all on him. I'm going to shift right click and hit tag all. So we catch him. The first time it won't show his spawn, but we're going to start spawn camping him. So here he is right here. Oh no, I didn't click on him. Okay, we click on him. And now you'll see where he spawns. That's definitely not the right one, unfortunately. Oh, okay, it's just the spawn was moved. So here it is. So now it'll show his spawn on the floor, and we can literally just stand here and angle our camera so that we just can continually capture him. And then the idea that I usually do is I just catch, and then I open, and then I drop whatever I got. And then I catch. And if it doesn't get caught, then you kind of just wait here. You can go chase him, like you can run through here and grab him, but he'll usually come back across pretty quickly. So we'll just sit here and open in the jars that we have. Make sure we don't drop the jars. There's the oak planks, so that's one of the noted drops that we want to keep. There's gold bars, that's another noted drop that we want to keep. So that's very useful. Here he comes back across here in a second. Hopefully. Sometimes they like to sit here and tease you. This is where you could just like snare them or just run across and try to catch him. So that's just kind of up to your preference if you want to be patient and wait for him to cross, or if you just want to go grab him. Alright, I'm getting impatient. He's just about to cross back over, I bet, too. Okay, so we will catch him, and then before we cross back over, just to not risk it, I'm going to entangle this one. And then we'll go across and have plenty of time to catch him. There we go. And then we're just back at it. So we're just catching, opening, dropping, catching, opening, dropping. And if you get a couple extra, that's okay. He's gonna go across. Sometimes they like, whenever they spawn off the area that they're supposed to spawn at, if they spawn either one tile west or one tile east of the spawn, that's when they'll just immediately take off and run. So those are the ones that you want to watch out for. And there's adamant ore, that's the other drop that we want to keep, I believe. Could be mistaken about that, but just gonna drop one thing for right now, just so I can keep opening these jars. And there's our clue scroll. So once we get the clue scroll, we can either just immediately leave and go do it, or what I like to do is fill up my inventory with eclectic implings first. That way I can continue to open them after I'm done with the clue. Another option is you could go around and catch random Implings at this point and go bank them just so you have them for later to exchange for more Impling jars when you come back. And that'll kind of keep you in a permanent, you know, flux of having Implings. Catch this one while he's over here. They're really not liking to come across right now. And that's the other thing I'll do. I'll usually catch Implings until, like, right there. I missed my catch and he just went flying off, so this is where I just kind of give up and go do my clue. And I wouldn't bother chasing him anymore or waiting around, so I'm just going to go do this clue. Okay, so here's our casket. We just finished the clue. Gonna open it up. Nice and unique that I have not had yet. And then I just bring alkables so that I can alk any, you know, unnecessary loot that I don't want. Alk the Addy Full Helm. Alk the axe. And then we'll go ahead and bank this stuff. And then what I do from here is if I have, like I said, how I collect the eclectic Implings, even though I got a medium clue, I don't open them, and then I open them here after I finish my clue. So, you know, I'll drop one of these so I have enough room. I'll open, drop, open, drop, open. And if you have a full, like, if you have the rest of your jars filled up with these, you will very often get a second clue and be able to just go run around and do the second clue right away. And then from here, what I would do is after I, you know, finish banking this, I would, because sometimes your Impling jars go away, so say your inventory will look like this after you're done with your clue. So then I just go to that tab where we saved up our Impling jars, and I just refill my inventory back up with Impling jars like this, and we're back to square one, where now we go back and we grab another clue scroll and we do it again. And that's pretty much it. So that covers everything. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good one.